And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hello and welcome in, everybody. This is James DeJerome, your backup quarterback. I put down the clipboard and took off my baseball cap today and helping you, the consumers, get a little bit wiser. I've got some intelligent folks with me on this intelligent talk show. Michael Morabito from Coco Design Group is here with us. How you doing, Michael?
Hello, glad to be here again.
We've got special guest Lindsay Rhymes in the house.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry about that, folks. Lindsay, tell me a little bit. I'm not great at energy healing. I don't know anything about it, so you're going to have to carry me through the show here. What is energy healing?
So I have been trained in pranic healing, which is a type of energy healing. If any of you guys have ever gone to an acupuncturist before,
Sure.
you know, they turn the needle one way and it's energizing the chakra. And when they turn the needle the other way, it's cleansing the chakra. So what I do is I cleanse and I energize the chakras, and I basically clean all of the dirty energy out of the body.
Now you've got to tell me, how does one get started in this field? How did you come by this?
So for the past 12 years, I have ran a sales and marketing firm, traveling all over the country in a really high responsibility position. And I was finding that for myself, I was getting tired, I was getting sick, I was hospitalized at one point for 12 days in a row, and I wanted to take responsibility for my health.
Sure.
And I really have always been somebody that's not super interested in synthetic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always doing the natural stuff, the essential oils, and I wanted to find a solution for myself that was in that realm, more of the natural healing. I was introduced to pranic healing initially for my own health. I just went and I had a session.
Mm-hmm.
When I went into the session, I had a ball of scar tissue that was a little bit bigger than a quarter. And it was a 45-minute session. I got done with the session and the ball of scar tissue was completely gone in
No
45
kidding.
minutes. And all I did was I went into this beautiful space. It was a very calm and relaxing room. They had the essential oils going. I laid down on the table, listened to some calming music, and in 45 minutes I got up and that was the result.
Wow.
So I said, sign me up.
Right.
There's 8 energy healing masters in the whole world. I've gotten the opportunity to meet and work side by side with 5 of them. And through this process, the past several years, I've learned pranic Feng Shui.
Back up just a minute. 8 in the world?
Yeah. And to be an energy healing master, you have to perform miraculous healings. So these are people that have done amazing things healing others.
So now you're bringing that to the Bay, so folks here in Tampa Bay, tell me what symptoms or what would they look for when it comes time to look for your service? If they thought, can she help me with this?
Yes. So actually, I've been trained to work on people on a cellular level. I've been trained to work with them if they're having some sort of physical issues or symptoms. I can also get into the psychology of things. Sometimes emotionally, we become stressed, especially around the holidays. You know, that seems to be a high stress time for people. And so I can actually clean all of that out. So the result of the session is that somebody typically ends up feeling very relaxed, very calm, very centered, and very balanced.
Man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So Michael, in the design space, kind of similar in that people get a vibe from where they are and they're looking for a place where they can feel positive in their environment. And so you kind of do the same thing, assessing what would go best for their situation?
Yes, and I think interior design and feng shui really correlate a lot. Some people think they fight each other, and on certain things they might. But, you know, I wanted to talk about the 7 elements of design and kind of how they go hand in hand with some of the things she practices
Absolutely.
for feng shui. So one of the most important things is space and just flow and energy. And I'm sure that's one of the top for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're looking at a space, and what's so cool about interior design, you can add in a lot of elements for feng shui while you're designing a space that don't fight the design or the vision for the person. So when you look at the space and you want to have a certain feeling, there might be just something really simple that you can add that would clean the energy out of the room and really balance things. And spatially, it's important because you want to have that feeling of openness, and you want to be relaxed when you're home.
Sure.
The other aspect is you might have a home office, or you might have a home meditation room, or you might have, there's different vibes for different rooms.
Right.
And I think that that's where the design element and the feng shui element, they really mesh and synergize well.
Let me just back up. So feng shui is not just always calming. It can be designed for specific moods that you're targeting.
It absolutely can. So, for example, Brandon and I, we're involved in a lot business-wise.
Sure.
And so when I set up our offices at home, I have our desk in a certain direction. I have certain elements in the room that are going to increase focus and empower us with a lot of energy. There's a certain position that you want to be in when you're negotiating a deal, and you want to have that edge and that confidence over
Gotcha.
somebody else.
Okay.
You want to tap into that energy. Well, if I leave that room and then I go into, our daughter's room, I don't necessarily want to have that type of energy when you're interacting, with children,
Sure.
right?
I
And
gotcha.
so there's just different aspects depending on the room.
Awesome.
Yeah, Lindsay came and did a consultation for me, and that was one of the things. Like, I had my office set up, and she's like, if you want to bring in money and you want this kind of vibe in here, then your desk should really be facing the other way.
How
And
about that?
I could not work in my office anymore with my desk facing that way, because I'm like, man, is there more money to be made? Should I switch my desk around?
I thought so.
And now my desk is facing the other way.
Yeah.
Never thought of it, but space, I could see that from every aspect, sure.
Yeah, different energies come from different directions. And what's interesting is if you look at traditional Chinese feng shui, they say that the house should be facing to the south. Well, it has nothing to do with energy. Actually, they did that because the warm wind comes from the south in China.
Okay.
And they want the warm wind to come through. But energetically, that really is not the best idea in general. And also, one of the things that I'm trained to do is actually read and feel the energy. So when I walk into somebody's space and they say to me, well, I'm going through this, and in this room I have this goal, I can feel and I can scan that energy. And for them at that time, the answer might be different. The way that they face, or what we put in the room, or some of the colors I might suggest, or some of the essential oils I might say we want to use, it might be different for them now than 6 months down the road.
So your analysis is dependent on the situation as
Yes.
it is right now.
Yes,
I
it's
gotcha.
all based on
So you're assessing
energy.
all the. I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the space certainly a big one. What's number 2?
Lines, just how they can act as visual guides and direct you in the position that you want to look, or see the next thing visually that you'd want to
So
go.
it could transport you through a room, or
Yes.
get your eyes to turn to a certain view or vista.
Definitely.
I got you. So we talked about direction as well in the space aspect.
Yeah, and lines and design elements are very interesting. So when I did my consultation for Michael, one of the things that we looked at in her kitchen was the fact that it was like a drop-down ceiling in certain parts. And energetically, that's not necessarily a good thing. And
Okay.
so when she talks about lines, or she talks about, the design elements of how the walls are going to go and things are going to be arranged.
Well, we were
that's an
talking about
aspect.
renovations, because I'm going to
Oh,
renovate
okay.
my kitchen. So she's like, when you do this, like, I was like,
Remove
definitely.
it. Remove it,
I see.
And it's not something I said you have to do right now. But knowing that she's going to do renovations,
Right.
I can come and I can look at a space and say, hey, if this is already in your thought process, moving forward, you probably want to get rid of this.
Right.
Because
Keep this in mind during the
Keep
design.
it in mind, because that's really going to help the overall feel of the space.
There's also, if you didn't have the money at the time to do a full renovation, there's also little ideas that you can give that are more budget friendly too.
There are, yeah. So there are corrective measures that we can take if you're not into the renovation. And people ask me, they say, well, how do you know how much time, energy, or budget to put into feng shui?
Right.
And I ask the person, how much time do you spend in the room? Okay, so it's like if you're a fish in a fishbowl, you're in that fishbowl all day, every day.
Right.
The energy or the cleanliness of the fishbowl really matters because that's where you are all the time. If I'm talking about a room that I'm only in 5 minutes every day, am I really going to spend a lot of effort, time, energy, budget to make corrective measures in that room? Probably not.
I see.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
But if somebody says to me, you know, I work here, I live here, I'm here all the time, it's a smaller space, that's something where we might want to allocate a little bit more effort into making some corrections. And we can do it based off the budget because there's small things that we can do, and then, you know, there's big things that we can do. So there's always different options.
I know, Michael, you've mentioned in the past, sometimes it's not a tear down, start over. It's a rearranging. It's an addition of a few little things that can make a big impact.
Yeah. Just like the kitchen that I was talking about last time, you know, if you don't have the money to completely gut and redo a kitchen, just, you know, maybe a new backsplash, maybe a new countertop, maybe just painting the cabinet color to change the look and feel of the space.
Absolutely. So that's the thing guys miss out, at least for myself. I never even considered that kind of thing. I see something cool and I go, can I do that? You know, and you'd probably say, well, you're never going to use that space for that purpose. So do you get clients with big eyes that come to you with an idea that I can't wait to do this? And you say, well, it doesn't really fit with the way you're going to live.
Yeah. Same with just kind of the style of the home. People, you know, have, let's say it's a home that has a lot of character, but then they have, you know, an older historic home, but then they want this super modern feel. Right. I kind of go against that a little bit.
Difficult.
Just it just doesn't keep with the character of the home, and
sure.
That's important to some people. So there's ways to mix styles, but it, you know, it really just has to be done right.
If you're just joining us, my name is James DeJerome. I'm the backup quarterback here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm joined by Michael Morabito of Coco Design Group and Lindsay Rhymes, Feng Shui of Tampa Bay. I said that right. How about that? Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here with me today. Michael Morabito from Coco Design Group. Lindsay Rhymes, the Feng Shui of Tampa Bay, the owner of the Feng Shui of Tampa Bay.
Yes.
And we're going through a couple of different things that I would never have occurred, never would have occurred to me as a man who doesn't notice these kind of things. But we found out about space and a little bit about lines in terms of design. What else do you have over there, Michael?
So, we won't do all 7, but
Okay.
one of them is form, so shape of items. So when Lindsay came over, I had a sculpture that was pretty, had jagged, pointy.
Yes, pointy.
Like a starburst effect. And I loved it. I was so happy when I found it. And she just rained on my parade with that one.
Now, is it because of the sharpness of it, or what about it? Tell me.
So when I go and I do a consultation, I actually scan the energy of everything in the home. So I scan the energy of the people, I scan the energy of all the objects, I scan the energy of the walls, everything. The laundry room. I literally go in every single room, and it's really an individualized thing. That item might have been okay in somebody else's home, but energetically it wasn't the right item for her in her home. And there is an aspect to the shape that kind of disrupts or cuts or breaks the energy, and it's not a nice feeling. So if you would imagine actually taking your hand and putting your hand on a porcupine,
right?
Does that feel good?
Probably not.
Probably not. So energetically, that's kind of what has happened. And some people are more sensitive than others. Some people are going to notice something like that, and some aren't. But part of what I'm doing is I really want to create a beautiful energy that doesn't cut or break or poke.
Gotcha.
And so that was a good one to remove.
So mine had to go.
Now, what about the kid who's made something, and his mom's like, we're going to put that right on the ceramic ashtray you made, and you come in and you're like, ugh. How do you say, Mom, maybe put that in a drawer? Or?
Well, the thing is if the item is made with love and has a lot of love, and every time the person looks at it, they feel love.
I didn't think of that.
That object might not necessarily disrupt things energetically. And so part of what I do is scanning the energy of every object. I'm going to be able to get a sense of, is that object to somebody's, highest good? And, maybe it causes disruption for somebody else in the house, but maybe for another person it's fine.
Gotcha.
And then we have to sort of analyze, what's best for that home based off of what's going on and the people that are in it.
Okay. So that was shape.
Yes. And then the last element I'll talk about is color. And color can really evoke emotional responses depending on what color, and same to the individual, which people kind of categorize. So like blue may be more calming, green is energy and healing. Am I right with that?
Yeah, green is very cleansing. Yes.
Okay.
So she's like, bring all the plants in, which I love to decorate with plants. So that works well.
Yeah.
No, this is one I have a feel for. Color, definitely, even as a layperson, you can see the impact it has. I know, again, taking it back to sports, there are teams that paint the visiting locker room pink so that the team who's coming to play has to dress and spend all their time inside a pink room because it somehow softens them or somehow takes their mind away from the aggressive play. But I just thought, if that can do that, if it's worth, think of the impact it's having on a daily basis and you're in your house.
Yeah, so pink, it's interesting, is a very loving color. So if you're on a sports team, okay, and you're getting ready to get out there and bring it,
right?
Right? You don't want to be loving.
I see.
you want to get
I see the method.
prepped up. You want to be aggressive.
Right.
So pink's not an aggressive color. So yeah.
Do colors impact people the same way in general, or would I have a radical reaction to red where someone else might not at all?
It might depend on your situation and what you're going through emotionally or your past, but in general, probably yes.
Does it ever fall along gender lines, like women and men find colors different sides of the spectrum?
You know, that's a good question. I really think it's more of an individual thing.
Gotcha.
I mean, in general, there are power colors. So whether you're a woman or a man, you know, there are certain power colors. Like, let's say you're somebody who's in a position where you got to be really aggressive. You're probably going to want to have a power color, you know, in your office. If you're somebody who is in a position that's more creative, the colors that you might want to put in that office are going to be a little bit different. In fact, we talked earlier about the way that your desk faces. If you're somebody who's in a creative position, I'm not going to face your desk the exact same way as I'm going to face the desk of somebody who's the sales guy, who's the closer.
Okay.
You know, so I can do feng shui for the home. I can do it for the business. I can do it for, you know, all different types of scenarios.
Really? Okay. So, Mike, we talked about color, and that's one, like I said, I can gravitate to easily. I don't always know which colors go with which colors, but I know which ones I like. So there, for instance, all the shades of white, I had no idea. This is something you probably deal with all the time. I want this white. Well, what do you mean white?
Thank you.
There's 1,000 whites, right?
Yes,
So
a ton.
how do you, I mean, do you give them a spectrum that it could fall between these colors, or how do you even determine what color white they really want?
I mean, honestly, half the time you can't. They're so close. The average person would probably not notice.
Right.
I had a client that wanted white walls and white trim, and I just wanted to create a little bit variation between the two. And they were like, "Oh, I didn't even know there's two different colors." So I just, you know, stick to the ones I know that look good and I like because they are so similar, and I just, you know, stick to those.
All right. Now, we're trying to empower everybody out there. Lindsay, you have some secret feng shui tips. Is that what you have?
I have a secret tip that I'm going to share, okay? If you are having some challenges with the energy in the space, you walk into this space and you just kind of feel maybe a little bit heavy or a little bit down, one of a very simple trick that you can do is you can get a cactus, and you can put a cactus in the space, because the little prickly things that point off the edge of the cactus are going to disintegrate some of that negative energy.
Sounds like a secret that you might have told me before.
Oh, it may be.
Interesting. All right, Michael, you've got some tips as well?
I did. So I just found something out yesterday that I was very excited about. I love to shop at Home Goods and TJ Maxx and Marshalls for some little accessories, and you get such a great deal. And I didn't know that TJ Maxx had a website. So usually, like, Home Goods doesn't. It's kind of first come, first serve. Whatever you find, you find. And TJ Maxx has a website, so you can get all the,
It's okay.
all like pillows, throws. Yeah,
Right.
I'm very excited.
I love it.
So how do you, is there a certain location you go to look for items that fall under your feng shui designs?
Yeah, there are. So there are certain pictures that I'll use for certain situations. And, you know, if I work with a client, we'll talk about different options with that. And the nice thing, too, is with the elements of color or the elements of design, when we take corrective measures with the feng shui, there's so many options that we can make it fit into your current theme. You know, we don't have to change the decor. We're just adding and enhancing what you already have to just change the energy of the space a little bit.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be a giant overhaul.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. Some people are more comfortable with that and some people aren't. So I'm going to work with the client depending on, you know, what works for them.
Well, this has been very enlightening for me. As I said, this is a subject I have no knowledge about. I want to give each of you a little time just in case there's a point I missed or anything you want to hit on that could help our consumers out there.
Yes. For me, just going back to painting, since we were on that subject, I think a lot of people, that's their first thing that they want to decide on. If you think about it, like with you at the house, I'm sure, was that kind of one of the first things you picked prior to like new furniture or anything like that?
Painting was what I decided last.
Okay, so that's good. Good job. Most people, you're different than the
that
average.
is the approach that you take
Yes.
as well.
So yes, people ask me all the time to pick a color first, and I'm like, well, we need to. And this is when we're doing a whole house of new furniture. So I'm like, I don't even know what our design's going to be yet. What's our color? How do I do an accent wall? I want to bring in some wallpaper. So paint, color,
Wait a
last.
minute, so
Good job,
what would
Lindsay.
be the first item that would lead you to the color selection?
I would design if the layout of the home and everything is color palette wise, like kitchen is there, Then I would design all the furniture, and once I have a good direction with furniture and colors and rugs and textures, patterns, then I would choose the color.
I see. And same in Feng Shui.
Maybe not. It depends on the situation, but I'm actually building a home now. So she was asking, just from a personal level, when I chose my paint, and I happened to choose it last.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, I see an opportunity to work together, perhaps, or no? There's never a designer that brings in a Feng Shui person as well.
I think if the client requests it, that would be great for us to partner up.
Yeah.
It's really a cool idea that when you hire your designer, give her a little idea that in addition to your design, we're going to create some Feng Shui. And
yeah, absolutely. And I've had people who've talked to me about Feng Shui that also want interior design. So definitely. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that we do have some December specials. So if there are people out there who are interested in an energy healing session or a Feng Shui consultation, I want to encourage everybody to reach out to me because we have some amazing December specials. And it's a good time of the year to do it, just to de-stress, but also thinking about how you want to start the new year.
Sure.
You're going into the new year with a clean space and energetically sparkly. Who doesn't want to do that, right?
All right, Tampa Bay, you got your people here. Michael Morabito, Coco Design Group, Lindsay Rhymes, Feng Shui of Tampa Bay. Give them a call. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Trisha up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Yes, welcome back. This is James DeJerome, executive producer of the Consumer Quarterback Show, filling in for Brandon today. He's a little bit under the weather. I've got Mike and Kat Montemuro from Infinity Medical joining me, so we've got some real good information for you. I imagine you're feeling a little stressed from the holidays, as everyone does. Tell me, Mike, what are some of the things Infinity Medical can do to help that?
Well, I'll tell you, our hormone therapy really does help reduce stress with the holidays. Well, one, you've always heard that term, shop till you drop. Well, if we have good testosterone, the women seem to be able to go and go.
They'll find a way.
But there's also, with good balance in those hormones for the females especially, it's a mood stabilizer.
You know, I never even considered that till you guys came on as show partners and started explaining a little bit. I always thought of it as a male issue, you know, and that's not the case at all.
No, not at all.
You guys say that a good percentage of your clientele are female.
Yes.
Would a female show the same symptoms of low hormones as a man would in terms of fatigue? Is that the main one?
Well, generally speaking, a female hormone prominently is the estrogen, progesterone, and then they have the testosterone. And you're correct, it's just not for men with the testosterone. The entire hormone needs to be balanced. You have women sometimes who have a hysterectomy, so therefore they have no hormones, so we replace it. Our goal is to reverse the signs of aging, and we bring them back to their prime. So I'd probably say mid-30s is when they start to deplete their hormones. Women, generally speaking, and men. Now we're getting a lot more men. It used to be 85 and then the rest male. But now, because of the women are so successful, the males see them on the therapy.
Sure.
They see the results of, them having symptom relief. It would be a night sweat, hot flashes, some other things that go on with women, and then testosterone related. And then you'll find that, like, I have a patient. She just started with us. She's in for her third treatment. She does very well now because she was getting frustrated. She would go to Orange Theory every day. Right. She ate very healthy. She would watch her weight, but she had no endurance in her workout. She failed to realize that she had no testosterone. So she would come to us. So her workouts improved. The weight loss was remarkable. And you would think when you have a thyroid issue, that would allow her not to have any energy or metabolism. But she had no thyroid issue. So she worked out every day. She ate very healthy. She did not have a thyroid issue. But once she got the testosterone back in her body.
Big difference.
Big difference, yep.
Yeah, I could see the same thing with men, and especially we put a lot of emphasis on exercise and working out. When that result doesn't come, not only is it physically bad, it's frustrating, and then that affects your moods and starts to be a whole holistic thing there where it's difficult to overcome.
It's demotivating, right? And you go to the gym and you're in there and then you just start yawning. You can't get rid of that spare tire. There's nothing happening because, and you think, oh, is it my metabolism? It's because you have no testosterone. Every single obese person will test with low testosterone. Are
there environmental factors that you're not even aware of that reduce your level of testosterone? I've read different things about pollutants and some things in our society today. It's difficult for men to maintain a proper hormone level as they age.
It is, and I mean, we lose about 2 to 3% a year. So by the time we get to our 40s and 50s, it starts to catch up, and we're like, okay, man, I'm missing a beat here. What is it? And then when we test them, we find that they're low.
So a lot of guys get frustrated. They can't stay on their diet. Or they've been given a diet and they feel like it's just not working for me. It probably has something to do with your hormone level.
There's no doubt. I mean, I don't really diet at all, and I don't have to, but I can remember those days when I started picking up those pounds about 7 years ago before I started therapy, and there was nothing I could do. As a matter of fact, we joke about it all the time because we look at old pictures and I've got this big face, it's very low maintenance as far as diet goes. Of course, diet and exercise is important.
Absolutely.
But, you want to feed the muscles and feed the body. But
now, over time, after you started your therapy, you get used to the way you feel now. You notice if you have a change.
I can tell when I'm low, because then I start feeling, there's a difference between being tired and washed out. I feel washed out, like in the afternoons where you just feel like you're getting tanked and you need a nap.
Right.
I don't feel that anymore. But when I start to feel like I'm running low on energy, I know, hey, I got to get my blood checked.
So that's where it starts, with coming in and getting an analysis, some blood work done, and finding out exactly what your levels are.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
It's not necessarily something that you can automatically correlate with age. Is that true? So just because I hit 40 years old doesn't necessarily mean I'll have a decrease, or doesn't mean I could be insufficient at a young age in my 20s. Is that
absolutely correct? We see that a lot because they come in, they're depressed for one. They are in their 20s. And you're saying it doesn't seem logical that they would have but they do have low T a lot of times, and then we get them on a therapy and they feel great.
Well, that is awesome. That makes all the difference in the world, because again, it's your mindset. It's your mood that you're in. So it's not just your health in terms of how you look. That's going to give you a sense of pride as well. But it's still, 100%. Think about your mood. It's everything.
Right.
So the ability to know that you need this treatment. How do guys get in touch? What typically do you see? They're motivated because their wife or partner or someone has mentioned that their energy level's down, or they don't look quite the same, or they just want to change their lifestyle, and then they come see you guys. What is that initial consult like?
Well, the consult's free. I mean, they get to spend as much time with us as they want, and if they feel that they want to continue, at least see where their levels are, then we do blood work that day. And normally get them on a schedule to come in with one of the practitioners the following week, and we can start the therapy, that quick.
If you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Mike and Kat Montemoro of Infinity Medical. We're talking about hormone therapy and different things, different ways that modern medicine has really come on to help you with some of the things that you may not even be aware of as a someone in my position, as a guy, as he gets older. I wasn't even, this field is relatively new, is it not?
Actually, I would say no, but it's obviously a lot more popular because most people want to do the alternative type of therapy opposed to the traditional medications. To answer your question in regards to male and what makes him interested in the change, not only the weight loss and obviously seeing results in the gym and other factors of their life. But what happens is primarily I was in 3 consultations. I have 2 more after I leave you. And to answer your question, the women will come in because they have hot flashes, night sweats, low libido, very tired, irritable. And unfortunately, a lot of my patients will be on a tremendous amount or even minimal amount of medications. So I will see the transformation in them probably after their second treatment. The benefits of it is that they have symptom relief, they have sustained optimization throughout the year. They immediately feel better, but after their second treatment, because we start with a baseline, they feel even exponentially better. Because
and no peaks and valleys, they're not going to go up and down.
Not at all. A synthetic, absolutely, because you only secrete a certain amount of a synthetic hormone because of your sweat and urine, so it doesn't stay in the system where this is going right into the tissue. So therefore, it's time release, and it's very beneficial.
Now, you guys are located right near us, is that correct?
Yeah.
What's your location? Let everybody know.
We are at 1715 West Shore Boulevard, Suite 100 in Tampa.
And for that free consultation, they just get in touch with you?
Sure. They can just give us a call or an email. We are on our website. Our website is beautiful. They can go ahead and visit the website. They can have a test online and then automatically have $500 off on the therapy.
Okay.
And come on in. And then the most important thing is that we have to assess them, go over the medical history, and then design a therapy for them.
Are there different types of hormone therapy in terms of the conduit or the pathway, oral or intravascular?
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, for us, we do just pellet therapy.
Okay.
So we do a placement under the skin. It's time released, and so it's an injection, and it's injected under the skin and lasts up to 4 months.
And that kind of assists in that non-peak valley situation that we just talked about.
We get a sustained level of hormones, time released into the body at all times.
Awesome.
And it's customized per individual. So your therapy is going to be different than mine, and then Kat's and another woman's would be different. So it's customized for each individual based on their needs.
And our specific blood work would give you that indication, not just my height and weight or my size, something like that.
That's correct.
You guys would actually do some analysis and find out exactly where my
There's a lot of
levels
factors that are considered, especially blood work is obviously, we do it objectively by that, but subjectively by the numbers. And you asked the question about how long has this therapy been around. They've been doing pellet therapy in the United States since 1939.
Really?
People just don't know about it because it's considered alternative medicine, even though I would assume over almost 100 years you'd figure it was an alternative. But that's some of the things we face in the wellness clinics.
I can imagine that there's new technologies developing all the time, so you guys have to continually re-educate yourself in seminars and whatnot as far as the latest therapies and different ways to administer this stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
What about the field in terms of moving towards? Do you ever go in the field and treat anyone, or work outside of your office in terms of? I have a lot of practitioners now that try to offer a service where we'll come to you. You're so busy nowadays that we have a way to assist you out in the field Is that something that might see a future in?
Because it's a procedure, basically an office procedure, we do everything in-house. We don't take it outside.
And tell me about your staff over there. You just brought on somebody new when I spoke with you last time.
We did. Her name is Alexa. She's wonderful. She started with us a month ago. We have Alexa, who's our nurse practitioner. We have Lisa Hahn, nurse practitioner. She's been on your radio station.
Yeah, that's right.
Virginia, who is our nurse. And then we have Dr. Moffitt, who is our board-certified doctor. She's also, obviously, our director in our facility.
So, the whole team
great
over there.
Great credentials. We see patients Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday and Friday, we prepare all the paperwork. We go over the dosing. Our patients come in every half hour. We certainly don't book one patient or two patients to one practitioner. We are very conscientious of your time and very respectful too.
Well, this is Kat and Mike Montemuro from Infinity Medical. They're kind of helping us understand hormone therapy a little bit and giving you guys an idea of what we can do for you. Join us. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to learn a little bit more about the therapy itself, and we're going to find out how you can feel better for the holidays.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. It's James DeJerome, your guest quarterback in for the day. Brandon's not feeling great today. I've got Kat and Mike Montemuro from Infinity Medical in here with me, and we're talking about hormone therapy and all the different things that you can do to feel better over the holidays. You don't even realize all the stress you're under. Believe me, you're running around worried about parties and getting dressed for this holiday event, and you forgot how you feel. So let Kat and Mike take care of you. We're talking about hormone therapy and mentioned pellets. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is you're expanding services over there at Infinity?
Yes, we sure are. Very exciting. We have Alexa as well as Lisa, and they do the injectables. The injectables would obviously be the fillers in the face, Botox, also in the lips.
Okay.
Very exciting. They feel great inside, and then they want to obviously have the youth, their appearance when after the therapy. I know for myself, I do it. I do the Botox.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Botox because it
very popular.
It is. It's very popular.
Yeah.
It gets rid of the lines on my face, and
Have you seen any male patients request Botox?
Yes, very much so.
See, that's a new one. I figured it would go that way eventually.
Yeah.
What other services have you seen like that?
With the males?
With men adopting those same ideas.
Sure. The PRP, Mike can talk about the PRP a little bit.
Now, that's I've heard about, this is the protein-rich plasma, is that what it's called?
Yes.
And it's re-injected. It's taken and enhanced and re-injected?
Correct.
I've heard great things about this in terms of injury rehabilitation.
It is really good with injury. We do it more for cosmetic purposes. So one of the things that we are working with is for women, we call it the O shot, which is for urinary incontinence, but it's also for women that have problems achieving climax.
Right.
But there's also something out for ED now for men called the Priapus shot or the P shot. And that's where we actually take the PRP itself, the platelet-rich plasma, and do an injection into the areas where the male needs help. And it really gets amazing results, but with sensitivity and erectile issues.
So that's an ED therapy. Is there any particular symptom that a man has to have to make that practical, or is that something that...
If he just is not as rigid as he used to be, or if he's having problems achieving or maintaining erection, it's a phenomenal, great service for them without having to take a pill. I mean, it's their own PRP, and it rejuvenates the area.
I've recently read that you can develop immunity to some of these enhancements, some of the over-the-counter medications that are for men to treat ED, the Viagra, Cialis, that you'll eventually not have a response?
We don't have a lot of exposure with those because usually the testosterone alone does 90% of that, and then the ED, of course, we treat. There's a rare occasion sometimes if a guy's like 95% and saying, hey, I still need a little help, that we'd script those, but it's usually on a minimum basis. So I don't have a lot of knowledge in those
this therapy
areas.
that you just described to me, is that an ongoing therapy, much like the hormone, or would that be a one-time treatment that you'd receive?
Well, you know, they say it could last 18 months to 3 years, so it's a kind of a one-time. You know, and then of course he would know if the activity isn't what it used to be, and then can come back in.
But it wouldn't be something where you develop immunity to it, or your body would start to reject it or not notice the effect.
No, we're just taking those platelets and using those to regenerate the tissue.
That's amazing. I tell you, it's really something new that I wouldn't have even imagined years ago that you can do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we talked about energy, and we talked about how that's important for the holidays. Everyone's worried about their appearance. You know, men and women of all ages really concerned about their appearance. What are some of the things that they might not realize that relate to their hormone level in terms of their appearance? So we talked about fatigue. Would it be aging of the skin and hair, that kind of thing?
And then women too who are low in estrogen, they have dry skin.
Brittle nails, thin hair, it all comes back with the estrogen. Their hair gets thick, their skin gets a really good tone to it, and not dry anymore. You know, there's a lot of
the number of
symptoms
related things that you wouldn't even consider necessarily. Like I said, my first one I consider as a man, I'm tired or something, that must be low T. But I never think that, hey, this could help with my skin, hair, nails, mood, everything else.
Oh, mood for sure.
Yeah.
I was on antidepressants. I'm glad I went off of them. Quite frankly, you know, I run a very successful business with my husband, and I have a lot going on in my personal life. My mom's very ill. I have children, and I have a special needs brother that I care for. So I am extremely full, truly.
Right.
And my disposition was very irritable, discontent, detached, couldn't manage anything. I became very successful in the past 4 years. Obviously, because of the therapy, I have a wonderful relationship with my husband. You know, I'm not irritable. I'm able to manage my medical staff. I'm able to be available for my children, especially my senior, who has all these applications going into college and deadlines.
Talk about stress.
So yeah, right. And then my mom, obviously, and my brother.
Man, so you can see how it's something you can't avoid. In our society today, you're going to feel the stress of just being around and being part of the society. So anything you can do, any edge you can get, I really urge you to go down and see Kat and Mike at Infinity Medical and get your free consultation, because you don't even know until you get your blood work done. You don't even really know where you are.
Right.
Yeah. It could be any number of factors influencing your mood or your behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that it's considered new, but as I've learned today, it's been around quite a while.
Yes.
So it's a field that is proven. It's not something that's just come on, you know, in the last few years.
No, it's not a fad. Absolutely not.
There's a lot of scientific data that just doesn't reach your general medical community, because honestly, we're a non-pharmaceutical product.
Yeah, I see.
So the education, usually postgraduate for any kind of degree doctor, is going to be through the pharmaceutical companies.
Absolutely.
So,
and they also have an agenda.
Yes. So this is more from the alternative side of things, but it's It's all natural.
So
and
that's
it's
what you've got to
amazing.
do. If you want to be an empowered consumer, you've got to consider all aspects of education out there. Think about what you can learn and try to make the best decision for yourself. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are going to advise you, as Mike was just telling you, to seek a therapy because they have a financial stake in your interest in that. So get your blood work done and find out where you really are, and then you can make some good decisions about what's best for you.
There's nothing more rewarding when I have a patient come in and is on many medications. And unfortunately, after a period of time, there becomes a contraindication because they start to work against each other. An antidepressant, an anxiety, sleep meds. Our patients get off of it. Women who are depleted in progesterone, it helps with sleeping.
Is that the first step when your patients are seeking help elsewhere? They get prescribed some kind of antidepressant or some kind of opioid initially?
Well, generally speaking, because of our society, a lot of physicians who are unaware of the benefits of our bioidentical hormone therapy will script to patients.
Sure.
Also, OBGYNs wind up doing the synthetics, and the synthetics do not work for the bioidentical hormone therapy. So our whether it's male or female will come in, and because they were supposedly diagnosed with depression or anxiety, usually is minimal. They have no hormones.
Right.
And once the hormones obviously are back into their system and then they sustain optimization, they certainly will have long-term symptom relief. There's no medication. Some of them go off the medications. Right. My patient was so scared because she was so used to taking Ambien at night to sleep because she has such a stressful job, that she was so relieved in 4 days of what the therapy did. She's off the meds.
Yeah, all
had
that
remarkable results.
Cocktail of medications that you've got to take all the time has side effects in and of itself.
Yes, very much so.
We treat the root cause. A lot of this is hormone related. I'd say 90%. So they are kind of misdiagnosed because the physicians aren't looking at the blood work for hormones. They're just characterizing it as, okay, there's a symptom. I have a pill to mask that symptom.
Right.
We go to the root cause and reverse the issues.
So it's about your long-time health. It's about your future health and making sure you're making the best decisions you can. So it starts with education. I'm really advocating that free consultation down at Infinity Medical because that's the only way you have science behind it. Otherwise, you're just listening to someone's opinion and you're making an estimated guess about what would be best for you. Tell me about the holidays for you guys. I know you can manage your stress. What about at Infinity Medical? How busy do you guys get? How do you handle the holidays over there?
Well, in the practice itself, it's a very well organization. As I said, we have pellet therapy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the reason being is because we need to prepare documentations and labs and review everything on Monday and Friday. So it's imperative that we have that operation that way in order to be successful. To manage it, it's manageable because of the way the operation is ran. We certainly don't overbook ourselves because it's not fair to ourselves, my medical staff, or the patient itself. We have to respect everyone's time.
Absolutely.
And being on the therapy, everyone is. It's a fun environment. It's very healthy. The reason why it's like that is because our patients who are vulnerable, who are sick, who are used to being told that they can be helped in other ways. I had a patient today. She was very, very skeptical about starting the therapy because she's been burned, quote unquote, is what she said. So it's such a rewarding atmosphere because we change lives. People do come in and they see the difference immediately.
Do you find that they're surprised when you say we don't need the medicine, that take away the medications?
Yeah, we are cautious on that. We make them wean off of it or have them check with their physician. We're not there to tell them not take something. We just know that we can address most of those issues internally. We're really busy right now, as you asked, because of the injectables. So right now, people getting ready for the holidays. So we're doing tons of Botox and Brotox. That's what we call it for the guys. And of course, we're doing the fillers and all that because everyone wants for the holidays. They want to look great. You know?
And then the other thing is, the gym's always busiest after the new year when everyone makes their resolution. So I'm sure you're going to get a little surge, a little bump after the new year when people make their resolution.
We do, and we also get busy when it's tax return season. You know,
I didn't think of that.
People have a little bit of expendable, or they're starting their new health savings accounts because we do take HSAs. So they can use their, health savings accounts with us as well.
That is great. So Infinity Medical, located right here in the Bay. Kat and Mike Montemuro are waiting for you to come over there and get your free consult. See what you don't know about your own health and find out what you can do to make yourself feel better, right?
For sure.
Well, thanks for coming in today, guys. It was a great show. A lot of knowledge for everybody out there. I want to thank you for tuning in, and make sure to check us out on consumerqb.com for all your consumer needs. We're always out there trying to educate you. consider committing a random act of kindness like Brandon always says. That's the best thing about this show, is that we try to be positive and look out for each other. Do me a favor, do that for me, consider that, and go ahead and commit that random act of kindness. Again, join us next time on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.